February 2023. The world was still living by the old financial logic, but we pressed start. We wanted to create an ecosystem that would unite artificial intelligence and finance to make asset management simple, scalable, and secure. That's how Aurum was born. The starting point was EXAI Bot, the first AI-powered trading solution, an algorithm that laid the foundation for an entire era. From that moment, we began expanding at the speed of light. We've built and are implementing a vision that includes trading AI bots, exchanges, neobank, crypto cards, and real-world asset tokenization, official registration in Hong Kong, and the first features in global media. The creation of Aurum Neobank, the launch of Zeus AI Bot, and the flash loan license surpassing $1 million in profits. The opening of our headquarters in Dubai, where hundreds of industry leaders gathered. The world started to talk about us. We were featured by Binance, Benzinga, Crypto Reporter, and Blockchain Wire. Forbes called us the new infrastructure of global finance, but this is no time to pause. We're gaining momentum. We launch Aurum Academy, strengthen our team, and appoint Brian Benson, a professional with 27 years of experience, as our CEO. Global events in Vietnam, Dubai, and Antalya, thousands of cards sold, and the launch of the AI agent ecosystem. Today, we stand on the stage of Token 2049 Singapore, alongside the leaders of Binance, Tether, KuCoin, and Tron. And this moment once again proves Aurum is a global ecosystem of worldwide scale. But the most important part, this is only the beginning. The next decade will be one of expansion. In 2025 to 2026, we bring Aurum Neobank to the mass market. Hundreds of thousands of users, millions of transactions. The launch of Aurum Exchange, which reaches $5 billion in trading volume within its first year. AI bots manage over $100 million in assets. The first 5,000 cash-in and withdrawal terminals appear. Aurum establishes its presence in 10 countries and secures its position in the global market. In 2027 to 2028, we raise the bar. Neobank reaches 2 million users and 1.5 million cards. During this period, Aurum Dex, a next-generation decentralized exchange, launches. Personalized AI-based services emerge. Credit scoring and capital management. The first RWA deals worth $500 million are integrated. The terminal network expands to 20,000 points across 20 countries. By 2029, Neobank evolves into a super app. Flight bookings, taxis, car rentals, food delivery, while transactions exceed $20 billion. Aurum Dex cements its position within the ecosystem with $5 billion in trading volume, becoming a key element of Aurum's DeFi direction. AI agents operate for hundreds of thousands of businesses, and RWA grows to $5 billion. Aurum becomes an ecosystem that accompanies users every day. In 2030 to 2033, we reach global scale. Neobank's user base hits 12 million and over 10 million cards. Inside the super app, 15 to 20 integrated services and partnerships with 500 global brands. Aurum Exchange reaches $90 billion in trading volume and enters the top 10 global crypto exchanges. The terminal network expands to 100,000 plus locations across 50 plus countries. The annual Aurum Global Summit gathers 5,000 leaders. By 2033 to 2035, Aurum Neobank enters the top 5 global neobanks with a valuation of $10 billion plus. Aurum Exchange remains in the top 10, while Aurum Dex surpasses $20 billion in trading volume. AI manages over $5 billion in assets, and RWA exceeds $20 billion. We are present in 75 countries, with 1,000 global partners and over 100,000 terminals. The Aurum Global Summit brings together 10,000 industry leaders. Aurum becomes the symbol of a new financial era, a system that made finance accessible to everyone, a story that has already transformed the industry, and a future that already belongs to us.
Well, there we go, guys. Quite an exciting video there. Just a question. Can you give me the thumbs up if you heard the sound? Is the sound playing there? Did everybody hear the sound? That's a heart. That's a thumbs up. So you did hear the sound, okay? Because I was getting text messages to say no sound. So the issue is at that person's end. So thank you very much for that. Without further ado, let me get started. And a warm welcome to all of you who are here for the very first time, or maybe your first or second time. Thank you. We're here to share some information with you, and let's get started.
Recording in progress.
Well, thank you for having a listen to this information. I don't work for the company myself. I'm not paid to present the information at all. I'm just here to examine it, give you my own thoughts, my own opinions, my own views on it. I'm happy to share the little bit of due diligence that I was able to conduct on this. And collectively, maybe we can toss this around and have a look at what it is. I'm very keen to understand who's behind it in the company. That's very, very, very important. So we're going to look at the CEO and who he is and what he's done and what he's capable of doing. That's important. We're also going to take a quick look at the product suite that these guys are offering to see is there anything of interest. I'm not here to recruit you or to share any financial information with you. I'm here just to discuss from an educational standpoint what's this about. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you any advice, actually. I'm not an accountant, and it's always prudent to do your own due diligence and seek what I call professional advice, no matter what business it is that you'd like to get involved with. So again, let's take a quick look. We're looking at the legal and corporate structure. This is what we're presented with from the company. There are three entities. They have in Europe through Poland the Aurum Neobank. They have the ECO, whatever that means, Aurum Investment LLC out of Dubai. And I know they have offices there, and there's the license number. I actually got my hands on the license, so I'll be able to share that with you. And I was able to see the registration from their Hong Kong business, which is the Aurum Foundation Limited. And I'm aware that they don't have operating offices in Hong Kong. So they maybe have a lawyer there or an accountant there that established the company for them. And we have also evidence that part of their technology has been operating since January 2023, and we're going to be able to share that with you as well. So that's 3 years ago. Some of these companies are only 2 years old, but there is evidence going back 3 years ago. So that's one thing I'd like to bring up. When I look at I suppose the what would you call it? Would you call these corporate staff? I don't know if that's what you call them. Leonardo is the CEO of the exchange. This gentleman worked at government level with blockchain, very, very successful. He's from South America, so you're going to find a diverse, I suppose, a diverse group of people from different walks of life, from different origins, from different continents even. Brian Benson, the CEO, has said that there's nobody better than Leonardo to be the operator of the exchange. This gentleman, there's information out there on him. There's videos out there on him there. He was the founder of CoinX, and he also had a big Bitcoin mining operation. There's videos that they've shared as well. Very intelligent young chap, very nice, shy young man as well. I've had several conversations with him. But he also worked with Brian Benson in Binance. So a lot of experience coming from that department. Al Risky, I don't know much about. Somebody I think said he's from Singapore. Not so sure about that. Nicholas Cleland, I actually heard him. I believe he's from Australia, and Richard's head of partnerships. So as this rolls out and evolves, they're looking to take on new partnerships. I also heard Brent and Tobias speaking as well. They're part of the VC, Venture Capitalist Advisory Board. So for the big partners and accredited investors that are going to look at this, I guess they run through this division here for their operations and relationships in African continent. They're dealing now with the ex-deputy finance minister from Sierra Leone, Bokari, will be dealing with that. And Nick Patel is the CEO presently of Bank of Bullion, but he's also now the RWA relationship advisor. RWA stands for Real World Assets. And these gentlemen are bringing to the table gold, 24 karat gold bullion. And we're going to get information, I assume, coming up in the next few weeks. We'll get a lot more information about what's coming on the table in terms of gold trading and also real world assets. So that's going to be quite interesting. But the man of the hour, the man of the week, the man of the month, the man of this year, 2026, is Mr. Brian Benson. He was certainly the man of 2025 because I tracked where he traveled to last year, and it was quite impressive out there building his brand. But Brian Benson worked in the bank in America. He worked for Morgan Stanley. He became a trader at Morgan Stanley. And when he left the traditional banking rails, as we know it, he moved to what we call Web3 or blockchain. He became an ambassador at Algorand, quite an impressive blockchain. Algo would be the coin that they have on the Algorand blockchain. Very impressive. He was an ambassador for those guys, but he went to work for Binance and did a remarkable job over at Binance. He became managing director of all of LATAM. LATAM is Latin America. It includes Central and South America, quite a large continent with many countries. You'd be familiar with Brazil, was a big market for Binance. Well, you're looking at the man that created that. Chile, Peru, Argentina, up as far as Mexico. Brian Benson was the MD. He did all the due diligence, all the banking relationships, whatever was required for Binance in those days. And Binance went from zero to $1 billion in 6 months. Remarkable job. Mr. Benson, I believe, was responsible for up to 20% of that revenue based on his marketplace. So quite a great achievement. It tells us that this man definitely has experience and most certainly got the connections when we're looking at the Aurum business. I did a quick Google on him, found him everywhere, actually. Quite a lot of images here. I see some young images here of when he was much younger. That's fine. All that tells us is there's history here about the man. That's good news. I can see images here of how he looks today. He's 51 years old, so he's not an old man. He's not a young man. He's I would say, sensible and mature. A lot of experience in corporate, a lot of experience in technology, a lot of experience in trading. He's an all-rounder, and some very good reports here. I can see him here with the Binance shirt on. So he is the Brian Benson. And Forbes, a very reputable media company, have reported favorably on this company more than once. In fact, at the end of 2025, they invited Brian Benson to the Forbes Council. So that's a big accolade. That's a big recognition there to invite Mr. Benson on to their Forbes Council, meaning that Forbes obviously know who this man is. They respect his, I assume, his knowledge, his information, his integrity, to be able to promote him on the Finance Council as an expert in this arena. What also impressed me was this relationship Aurum has with Visa and MasterCard. Now on the screen there we can only see Visa, but I do believe there are customers using MasterCard with the platform as well. And even just to co-brand the Visa name with Aurum, to have the two, I have one here actually, to have the two names on the one piece of plastic, well, that tells me something that the issuing bank obviously has done its due diligence on Brian Benson, on this company. I don't think they would have partnered up had they come across any red flags. Certainly, they would know the directors of the company. They would know. I'm sure they probably asked for last year's accountancy or maybe 2024 accounts. Maybe I'm sure they asked for licensing and all of that before they would get into any kind of partnership here. But that said, I drilled down and found out the name of the issuing bank, and it is a regulated, licensed bank. You'd be quite impressed. So that rang favorably with me. I then, as I said, tracked him last year. He started off in Argentina with the Ethereum conference. Ethereum have a week there with all the Ethereum people come together, discuss the blockchain, discuss Ethereum, discuss smart contracts and the likes. Brian Benson was down at that in Argentina. He then headed over to London. Then he went to the Netherlands, and then he went to, I believe, Slovenia, Germany, Greece, into Dubai, and then headed off further east, went to Hong Kong, Vietnam. There's evidence of him traveling to Vietnam. He was in Singapore then for the Token 2049, and this is the largest blockchain conference on the planet. And 25,000 people showed up at this event, and the tickets on the last day, I'm told, were $1,400 to get in. So quite impressive. And what that tells me certainly is that this company's not afraid to be in the arena of experts, put itself inside an arena of Like, I mean, who's going to pay $1,400 I mean, would you pay that for a concert? But to go to a blockchain event, it was on 3 floors over 2 or 3 days, same time as the Formula One was going on there. Binance were there, Tron were there, Aurum were there. They had a booth or a stand at the event. Brian Benson was one of the main speakers at the event. I actually heard his subject as well. You can find that as well. So he was out there strutting his stuff, out there looking for relationships, looking for partnerships, looking for products for his community. Towards the end of 2025, he appeared multiple times in the Emirates at different events. There was it's called the Blockchain Week or Finance Week, I think they call it in the Emirates, between Abu Dhabi and Dubai and the Emirates. Brian Benson was speaking at those events as well. He's been interviewed by Cointelegraph, Benzingo. I think actually there's a position on Binance that there's a spot on it about him too, even though he used to priorly work there. But also Wendy O did an interview with him, and that's quite an interesting interview. I'd advise you to maybe go and find that and listen to her questions, and more importantly, listen to Brian Benson's answers as part of your due diligence. And then we found out that he was elected as part of only 5 experts on stage this particular day at the Builders Roundtable. And we can see Brian Benson here, second from the right, but look who's sitting next door to him: the co-founder of Sandbox, the co-founder of 1inch, the founder of EasyFlow. If you don't know what those are, write those down. Go and check out what they are and see why is Brian Benson on stage with this event. It's phenomenal. That's why I'm thinking about Forbes. That's probably why they've invited him to the Finance Council, because he's seen around the world globally. I mean, Donald Trump's sons were at some of these events. Michael Saylor from Strategy was at these events. BlackRock were at these events. Brian Benson was having breakfast at one of the events with the CEO of Binance and, of course, members from BlackRock, which is one of the largest financial institutions there is out there. And I think it might have been this event, actually, the Satoshi Roundtable. This is a private invitation only event. And that's where the industry is reshaped by these experts in AI, blockchain, fintech, all of those subjects covered at the Satoshi Roundtable. And then to top it off, we have this picture of Brian Benson himself a few years ago with the founder of Binance, CC. And that tells us we are dealing with no actor here. We're dealing with the real man. We're dealing with Brian Benson from Binance. And that's really all I've done on the company. Apart from checking out a couple of licenses and registrations, I've had this company registration from the Hong Kong business. And then that's the Aurum Foundation Limited. And then I was able to get my hands on this, which is the commercial license issued by, you can see there, the government of Dubai. The only strange thing is the black marks in the bottom left-hand corner. I assume they've penciled those out because obviously if you've got some of these guys' phone numbers, you could have 50,000 people making phone calls to them all of a sudden. So that's probably why they hid that. But the clean license is available in the offices in Dubai on the wall. I've seen pictures of it sitting there. So, that's really all the due diligence I've been fit to do on the company itself. In terms of the products, they have this point of sale terminal, which is quite interesting. This particular device accepts not just fiat payments like Visa, MasterCard. This also accepts cryptocurrency payments, and that's going to be a great asset for any shop going forward that want to be able to accept crypto payments. They're designing these ATM machines, which will be two-way ATM machines. You'll be able to put in cash like a vending machine, and it will generate crypto to your digital wallet if you have one. And conversely, it'll do the opposite. If you need paper money, if you need cash, and you had crypto, you can generate a QR code from your wallet, present it to the ATM machine, and out comes the cash. They've also launched their exchange for public beta testing purposes. It's not in its full glory, but it works perfectly well. The interesting thing about this exchange is Brian Benson has agreed to offer 50% of its commissions. I'm not sure if that's profits or commissions, 50% back to the community. I don't know how that will be carved up, but that's quite an interesting statement. You know, if you went for a cup of coffee or went out for a meal and the restaurant offered you 50% back, I mean, that's probably a recommendation you'd make to others. If you went and bought a vehicle, a car, and the company gave you back 50%, you'd be talking about that company all day. And when we look at these exchanges, the likes of Coinbase and what's that other one, Binance, maybe go and do some homework and find out what did Binance earn last year, and then ask yourself, how did they earn that? Where does the money come from? And when you understand that it's from transaction fees on their platform, Brian Benson's willing to give 50% of that up. So I think that'll encourage a lot of people to use this particular product. And you might just want to swap, a little bit of USDT for Bitcoin or vice versa. You mightn't want to trade on it. There's not very many people know how to trade. And those that do don't do a great job of it anyway. But you know what an exchange is, and that's up and running today. They also have a liquidity staking product on it, which is quite interesting, offering 17 to 20% on your money. And that beats any bank. That certainly beats real estate. It also beats gold. To get 17 to 20% yield is quite sensational. And my understanding is that, let's say a little bit of Bitcoin sitting on it, or a little bit of USDT or XRP, whatever it is, every single day they add more XRP or more Bitcoin to your account on a daily basis. Even though it's an annual yield, it's paid daily. And the second thing is you can withdraw any and all or part of both profit and principal at any time you wish. So there's no lockup, so instant liquidity. So that sounds like a very reasonable product. Once that gets into its full glory, I think that could be a great product. Recently, they announced the real world asset development, and they're going to start off with gold. Gold is, I call it God's money. Gold is real money. The paper money that you use is not. That's a joke. It's not money at all. And why it's not money is because if you take your currency and come to my country to buy something to eat, the restaurant won't accept your money. Yeah. Or vice versa. If I took my currency and went to your country to buy something, the restaurant won't accept my money. Why? It's not money. It's a thing called currency. It only works in your country. So gold is all around the world is accepted as money. It's the real money. And paper money was originally backed by gold. They could only create paper money based on the amount of gold that was vaulted. But that relationship was severed in 1971, allowing the central banks to print as much paper money as they wanted without having it backed with gold. So gold is the real money, and there's a very interesting project coming up here, tying in the government of Sierra Leone and Clink Gold, which Nick is involved with as well, part of his bullion business, and it's going to be interesting to hear how that rolls out in the very, very near future. But what I'd like you to do now is have a listen to Brian Benson yourself, just to get your thoughts on it. I know he saw thousands of people becoming very, very wealthy when he worked at Binance. He told me himself that there was kids with computers this thick. I don't know what that meant, a computer that thick, but I think he talked about gaming computers with big processing, that they were mining this Bitcoin and putting it onto Binance and swapping and changing and making fortunes. So he saw a lot of people becoming wealthy when he worked at Binance. But he wants to do it again. He wants to create $1 billion brand here. That's his mission. And he wants to generate 1,000 millionaires in the process. So let's have a listen.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today.
Let's listen to that again.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today.
One more time.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's, hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people turn into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company, is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield bearing assets, through a lot, compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally, is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And yeah, we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. Yeah. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at Aurum is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
I think what we have at Aurum, in fact, is very similar to when I started at Binance. So Brian Benson is telling us here, he's feeling that energy. He's feeling that community starting to grow. He's feeling everything come together in a way that what he had in Binance in those early days, he's getting that feeling here as well. And that's quite interesting. Create 1,000 millionaires. I don't know how he's going to do that. Sounds a lofty, lofty goal. But if it can be done, it will be done. If it can be done, it will be done. And I think, working with this kind of man, I think companies do need visionary leaders. Yeah, when you look at the likes of an Apple, or a Bill Gates, or you look at an Elon Musk, these visionary leaders tend to do very, very well. And I think the fact that this man has had the experience and the connections, probably a better man to back than the new kid on the block that hasn't done anything like this before. That's But that said, I mean, I'm only tossing this around with you, letting you discover what I've discovered about it. But here's the bad news, guys. They're going to charge $20 to try it. $20, and it's a subscription-based business, a bit like paying for the gym. You pay your subscription, you go in there, use the running machine, the rowing machine, you use the sauna or the steam room. That's what you get for your subscription. Here, you subscribe and you can avail of their products. And I'm not a financial advisor, as I said. I can't give you any financial advice. I can't sell any securities to you or investment products. I'm not going to do that. I'm not even going to share my link with you. What I can do is, or what you could possibly do, is talk about a website. You're promoting a website, like you promoted a travel website or a clothing website or a music website. We've all done that. But by promoting this website, that's all you can do. And once the customer engages with Aurum themselves, once they pay their subscription to Aurum, then it's Aurum that they're dealing with, not you anymore. They're working directly with the company, because at the end of the day, you're not a person that can supply these Visa cards. You don't have any. You're not a person that can supply the point of sale terminals or the ATM machines. You're not a person that can offer the AI agents and the trading algorithms. You can't do that anyway, so don't do that. I think you can promote a website, but do check with your own jurisdictions what's possible and what's not possible. I don't know the laws in your country, but it's $20 for the year, and once you've paid that subscription for the next 12 months, I believe you can use all of their products. Now, let's take a look at some more products. So we've talked really about the exchange and the point of sale. Those physical products, like the card is physical, the point of sale terminal is physical. Let's look at some of their digital offerings, and this, I'm told, is their best one. This is the one that's 3 years old. 3 years old, by the way. It started in January 23. That's right, the 11th of January 2023. It's done exceptionally well. They use 28 strategies, I'm told, not all at the same time. They don't use leverage trading, which is important. I'm not a trader, but I understand that leverage trading is risky, so they don't do that. They do what's called high frequency spot trading only. They have their own risk management program built into it. And from time to time, they do offer opportunities to speak to the trading team. They don't show the trading live. That's one part I don't like. But their answer to me was because AI has the ability now probably to copy AI itself. And if that was the case, if everyone knew how they're doing and what they're doing and the entry points and the strategies, if that was given away, the secret sauce was given away, then they wouldn't benefit. And for those reasons, they will only privately invite you to have a conversation with the trading team, to have a look at the open trades. Somebody actually sent me a few screenshots from that, and I can share that with you in a moment. But this has been extremely successful, over 500% in 3 years, which is quite good. The performance is doing for the company about 17% a month, 17.5% a month. It's quite, if you look at the graph for 2025, it's quite smooth, quite consistent. I looked at charts going back to 2023, and it was all over the place. Like One month they did 9%, and the next month it was 17, and the next month it was 12%, and the next it was 15. It was up and down. And I asked Brian Benson, I said, why was it choppy at the beginning and now it seems so smooth? And he said, it's to do with the AI. The AI is deep learning, machine learning. The more time in existence, the more situations it's understood. It learns from that and is able to pull on data. It can make like 10,000 decisions in a second or something. He told me very, very faster than human, no emotion attachment. And this is why AI, if you try Chat GPT and type something in there, I mean, it has a world of information at its fingertips in split seconds. It's incredible, and I guess that's what's happening. So I did a research here on this, and I found out now that 80% of all trading now done by the banks and all the big institutions is all now done by AI. So it's a race for the top, and these guys seem to have a very good program. Now, of course, that 17.5% that the company gets is not for you. You don't get that at all. What your availability is would be determined by your own account, what you actually have in the trading pool. So let's say you were to try $100 or $110 or $126. There's no kind of packages. It's just somewhere between 100 and 249. Those customers are benefiting to the tune of 10%. It says 10.49. I think that was the average over the period. And, past performance is not indicative of future results. I mean, I can't tell you the price of Bitcoin next Wednesday afternoon. Neither can you. But based on past performance, these customers are getting approximately 10%. It's not fixed, it's variable, obviously, with the markets. But for those of you customers that can do over 249, let's say you could do $300 or maybe $720, that's going to fall into the standard category. That's the second category. Those customers are benefiting to the tune of approximately 11% a month. For those that do between 1 and 2,500, you're going to get 12% a month. And you can see yourself, obviously, the larger the deposit to your own account, the better the potential gains to your own account. And of course, trading is risky. Cryptocurrency is up and down, up and down. I remember Bitcoin was $600, no, $300. And I was toying with the idea. This is years ago. I said, I must get one of those. I don't really believe it's real, but I'll get one. And I didn't. And it went up to 600. And I said to myself, you know what? If that ever goes back to 300, I'll get one of them. And it didn't. It was up at 600. And then it went to 1,000. And it stayed at $1,000 for a long, long time because I was watching it and I said, if Bitcoin ever went back to 600, I'd probably get it. I didn't want to pay the 1,000. And then it went up to 3,000. That was kind of a level it sat at for a long, long time. And I said, you know what? If it ever drops down to 1,000, I'll get one. And I just put myself off getting them every time. But then I noticed it went up to 18,000. Then it pulled all the way back down to 3,000 again. Then it went up to 64,000, then all the way back to 30,000. Then it went up to $120,000 last year. Now it's back at in $70,000. So you just have to be mindful with cryptocurrency. It has that vulnerability. It has that fluctuations. But I'm told that that's what creates opportunity. If you're trying to make profit on something that doesn't budge, let's call it, I don't know, does the pound and euro move that much between each other, or the dollar and the euro? Is there much movement in that? So it's more difficult to get a gain. Whereas in these choppy environments, my understanding is that the traders can grab some of these profits. But anyway, that's by the way. Moving forward, I was able to get my hands on 2 accounts, not from the company now. I was able to get this from a customer point of view. And you can see here, the account started with $500 on the 17th of April, 2025. But I couldn't see $500 anywhere. I saw 882. Can you see it in the what would you call that? In that oval shape, 882. So what actually happened was the AI had increased the 500 to 882. It actually had made $382 of profit. So I had a question, well, how long did that take to get from 500 to 882? And the answer is on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Can you see 17th of September at 9:36? So this is when this timestamp was taken. So the account had made $382 in 5 months. Now, I wasn't impressed because $382 in 5 months wouldn't feed my family. But when I worked out the maths on it, it was sensational. Because how I was taught at school is you take the profit, the 382, you put it over on top of the 500 deposit, you divide the bottom number into the top number, and you end up with 76%. And when I saw that number, I went, my goodness, that's quite incredible. That's better than the bank. A whole lot better than the bank. 76% in 5 months. You couldn't get that in property. You couldn't get that in gold. So from that point of view, on a small account like that, I thought that was very, well, I thought it was very, very good. Again, not financial advice. It's just an account that was shared with me. I just wanted to see what this was doing to try and understand it a little bit better. I was then able to get my hands on a larger account. This customer started with $10,000. So I'm sure this is an accredited investor. $10,000, maybe a business person, but they started on the 10th of April, and I couldn't see the $10,000 in this account either because all I could see was 12,360. So what actually had happened is, again, the AI had made profits of 2,360. So this sounded better to me, but I wanted to know, did that also take 5 months? But it didn't. It took 5 weeks. And when you look at the timestamp on the bottom right-hand corner on the 16th of May, and you can see the account was created on the 10th of April, 10th of April to 10th of May is 1 month. And 10th of May to the 16th of May is 6 more days, 1 month and 6 days. Allow me to round that up to 5 weeks. This account did 23%. After 10 weeks, we got another screenshot of it on the 24th of June. You'll see the date here, 24th of June at 1:38. I think that's after midnight sometime. It's not 1 in the day. I think it's 1:38 in the early morning time. But look at the account. I can see it's the same account number. I can see it was started on the same date, but it's not 12,000 anymore. It's gone all the way up to 15,000. Made another 3,000. So 55% in 10 weeks. After 3 months, the same account was showing $17,000, and after 4 months, the account doubled. Now, I'm not going to say your account's going to double. I don't know if your account's going to be the same as this. I've noticed that this customer has the reinvestment button on. So what they're doing is they're allowing the profit that was generated today to remain inside Binance or wherever they're trading this. The profit and principal is working together to trade more. That's what's happening with this particular account. So the figures here are quite impressive. More so than what the company actually showed. The company was showing 10 to 15%, but here you can see 25%. I think that's the compounding effect that's doing that. But anyway, that's a genuine account from a customer. The same customer was able to tell me that 4 months after this, it doubled again, almost. It went from $20,000. Can you see here at the top, 20,000 up to 39,000. That was after 8 months. After 9 months, it went to 46,000. After 10 months, it went to 55,000. Just unbelievable. And 11 months, $64,000. Incredible figures. Anyway, I'm not here to judge that. It just sounds almost too good to be true. But there are customers around the world getting the same results, withdrawing. It all appears to be quite sensational. Most people say, well, how do they make that kind of money? Well, it's not that kind of money. It's that kind of percentage. They're only making 17% a month in total, and they're not giving the customers all of that. So 17% a month. Here's a website called CoinMarketCap. It's an aggregator. It pulls together all the token and coin prices from various exchanges. You know, let's say on Binance, Bitcoin's sitting at $74,000. But maybe on Kraken, it's sitting at 74,400, and maybe on KuCoin, it's sitting at $73,800. There's a disparity between the different exchanges. This site pulls them all together to give you an overview, an average. So when we look at this site, we can see that here's one coin that did 2,000% in 24 hours. So when I think about 17% in a month or 10% in a month, not 2,000% in 24 hours, it starts to let you think, well, maybe it is possible. There's another one, 800% in a day, 500% in a day. Look at Pep B. Trump, 423% in a day. So when I see 10 to 15% in a month, it makes me feel maybe it is possible. And then I was able to get this. Now, I can't verify if this is a real account belonging to the company, but I've been told that it is. But somebody that had been on a call with the trading team took a screen grab of this. I can see this, $15 million in this particular account. I think they spread it between 5 or 6 different accounts. But have a look over here. The 30-day profit and loss showed $2.1 million on a $15 million account. So that's pretty good. I can see trading bot over here on the left-hand side. The same customer sent this to me again when it was another time they'd logged in. There was $20 million in the account. So you can see the account growing. And then the next was a very interesting one. I want you to look here where my mouse is. I noticed this here. Do you see where it says enable futures trading to use the bonus? What's happening here is, I'm assuming this, is that KuCoin, the exchange, is inviting Aurum to click this button and get into futures trading, and there's a bonus if they do that. And they have reneged. They're not going to do that. Futures trading, I'm told, and I'm not a trader, that it's a risky thing to do. So these guys are doing high frequency spot trading only. It says here master account. Look, can you see master account? 100%. And the master account is $20 million. All of it's trading. But look over here, what I found very interesting. The first deposit to this account on KuCoin was on the 11th of January, 2023. 11th of January, 2023. And that ties up with what Forbes were saying. Forbes were saying that there was a VC, a venture capitalist, that came in with $12 million. And I was told that $1.5 million of that was put in the KuCoin account to start using the EXI bot. And when you can bring $1.5 million to 20 million, you know, you're a bit of a magician, aren't you? It's incredible. Again, trading's risky. You've got to be aware of that as well. Never use more than you can afford to lose. You can see here some of the market orders, the order history, buys and sells. You can see what they're trading: Ethereum, Bitcoin, XRP. I was told they were trading the top 20 pairs on CoinMarketCap. Here's another one from March this year. Is that the 5th of March? I can read. It's very small. 5th of March. 5th of March. Yeah, all of these trades. There's over 20,000 pages of trades here, and this is on the OKX exchange. So that was just some of the details we were able to get, because it's not very transparent on their website. There is a button there that says coming soon, but that's been there for a while. So I think they're afraid to show the live trading in the event of other AI or other companies being able to see their strategies, to make their moves, and that's why they're not showing it. Anyway, that said, that's the EXI bot. That's all I know about it. I don't know any more about it. They have 8 or 9 other ones. One's called the Pro bot. There's 6 or 7, or there's 7 Zeus bots inside Telegram, and very soon these will be on Apple and on Google. I think it's already on Google Play Store, but they're developing the app for Apple. So you download this Neo banking application. It sets you up with some wallets there. You'll have your own Bitcoin, your own Ethereum, your own USDT wallet. You'll be able to fund your own wallet and then decide if you wanted to put it onto some of their products. So the last thing I want to talk about is this card. Now, this card I find strange, because it's not asking for a passport or a driver's license. It's not asking for a bank statement or a utility bill. And I found that very, very, very strange. Certainly in our part of the world, you would be asked for those things if you wanted the likes of any product like that. But here it's Visa, and it's no KYC. There's people using this all around the world, so I don't know how they do it. I think you've got to be Brian Benson to get a deal like that. It's just crazy. And they did say that if you were using more than 100,000 a month on this particular card, then they would require AML, which is anti-money laundering documentation, and proof of funds, and all of the things would be required: your passport, your utility bill. But if you kept it under 100,000, I was told it's not required. So there you go. It works on Apple, on the Apple Pay. You know, this click. I don't know how to use these things, but I see the kids double clicking on their phone and they go up and tap the machines. I like the physical card. I think that's much easier, but the kids can do this other thing, Google Play and Apple Pay. So it works on all of that as well. The physical card is hard to get. I think they've been giving it out at events, but very difficult to get out, because there is no KYC, because they don't have probably your address. I guess that's why they're not coming out. But you don't need the plastic card if the digital one works. And apparently you can have that in 5 minutes from ordering it. Within 5 minutes, you could be set up with one of those, if that was of interest to you. There's going to be 4 cards, by the way. So 2 of them will be KYC related. So the KYC verification is required for the first 2. But the other two, the Elite and the Infinity card, no KYC required. And the only one they're offering at the moment is the Infinity card at $249 with no monthly fees. So all good. Here's somebody in the UK has one. They've been using this since June 2025. I notice if you look in the picture here that there's no name on the card. It says Aurum Infinity, but the gentleman's name's not on the card. So that's quite interesting. That tells you there's no KYC. So let's have a look. This gentleman was using one of their trading products. He stopped the trading. He sent the profit to the Visa card and went down to the shop to get himself some milk. Here we go.
Here we go then, second official transaction.
No, purple and white. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you, Mina.
There you go. So some people say Aurum doesn't work. I've just seen it working there now. And I've spoken to several people that are enjoying their products. Again, I'm not here to sell you any products. I can't. I don't have any products to sell you. I can only share some information with you. Maybe get back to the person that shared this with you. They could get you connected. Here's somebody in India. Now he's speaking in Hindi. That's fine, but the machine speaks in English, so we can get a fair good idea about this. So let's have a listen to this. This guy's using the Aurum card to make a withdrawal.
हेलो दोस्तों, आप मेरे हाथ में ये कार्ड देख रहे होंगे, औरम का वीज़ा कार्ड। और मैं आज इंडिया में पहली बार एटीएम से इससे कैश विड्रॉल करने का प्रोसेस कर रहा हूँ और देखते हैं ये किस तरीके से काम करता है। ये बिल्कुल उसी तरीके से काम कर रहा है जैसे नॉर्मल अकाउंट एटीएम करते हैं। और मैं फ़िलहाल केवल 500 रुपीज़ इसमें से विड्रॉल करने की कोशिश करता हूँ और मैंने ये दबा दिया और ये बोल रहा है कि आप कितना कन्वर्जन के साथ आप किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, और मैंने इस पर कंटिन्यू कर दिया और ये इसमें कैश विड्रॉल मुझे अवेलेबल करा रहा है, जैसे कि आप देख ही रहे होंगे। और इसने बोला कि आप अपना कार्ड निकाल लीजिएगा। मैंने अपना कार्ड वापस ले लिया और ये मैंने 500 रुपीज़ आज फ़िलहाल विड्रॉल करके पहली बार ट्राई किया और ये सक्सेसफुल हुआ। थैंक यू।
There you go, and you see the wheat chip coming out of the machine. So it all appears to work fine. So that's really it. All I wanted to do was share some information, particularly about the CEO and his experience with an operation as such. I wanted to discuss briefly some of the products that they have. They've lots more than that. That was just a few that I selected to examine. And that's it. So again, thank you for attending. I hope you got some value from that, and I hope the decision you come up with is the right one for you and your family. Please do your own due diligence. Do seek professional advice before you start any business. And with that said, I wish you a great rest of your day. Thank you, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.